On behalf of the Aliyah Return Center, I'm your host, Chaim Mailspin, and I'm here at the historic and prophetic Sea of Galilee.
Energian PLC, a company that has already begun developing several natural gas wells in Israel's offshore economic zone, announced this week that it has discovered 13 billion cubic meters of recoverable gas at the site of the exploratory drilling well in the Zeus 1 field. Another well operating is the Athena site, also found an additional 3.75 billion cubic meters of oil. Matthews Riga, CEO of Energian, told reporters that the company is committed to investing the money's time and resources, everything necessary to extract all of this gas and oil resources and deliver them to the market, taking advantage of the existing energy infrastructure here in the Eastern Mediterranean region, as well as adding to it. Elsewhere, Israeli aerospace, high-tech, and defense firms are preparing to send delegations to Sakhir Air Base in the Persian Gulf Emirate of Bahrain for the purpose of showcasing their products and services at the prestigious Bahrain International Air Show for the first time this week. The air show is one of the largest events which is annually held, and it will feature potential customers from dozens of countries all over the world and approximately 50,000 government, military, business, and civil aviation officials scheduled to attend. Many of the attendees are from countries that Israel does not have formal diplomatic relations with, but have nonetheless expressed interest in buying what Israeli companies have to sell. This is the first time since the signing of the Abraham Accords that Israeli companies will be able to exhibit there in Bahrain. It's also going to provide a backdoor to fostering ties with Saudi Arabia and other countries that Israeli companies previously had been unable to meet with or conduct business with up front. Since Israelis will be first time ever in this show, many curious visitors will be drawn to our pavilion, Mati says. The war between Russia and Ukraine has led to a rise in interest in aerospace technology, high-tech, and defense products and services from around the world, with several European governments expressing interest in buying from Israel to bolster their deterrence against perceived increase of threat to their security from Russia and Iran. The situation for Jews in both Russia and Ukraine continues to deteriorate as the war causes enormous human suffering, material and economic damage in both countries. Growing signs of discontent among Russian troops, exacerbation by a deeply unpopular and poorly organized partial mobilization, has been accompanied by increased signs of economic hardship on the home front in Russia. Many businesses have closed in recent months, supply chain issues have happened. A problem over all the world has led to shortages of many products. Russian consumers are talking about get ready to be accustomed to not having. The COVID-19 pandemic, which saw Russia suffering some of the highest fatality rates in the world, might be just too much now for the Russian government to manage with the onset of winter. One analyst says, every country has a breaking point, even Russia. I'm worried that we might be getting very, very close to that point, and it will be even worse than what we imagined when the Soviet USSR, United Soviet Socialist Republic, collapsed in 1991. According to the Jewish Agency, several tens of thousands of Jews living both in Russia and Ukraine have expressed interest in immigrating to the State of Israel. Finally, the US, UK, France, and Canada, which is where the overwhelming majority of the world's Jewish diaspora lives, have all seen steep increases of anti-Semitic attacks in the last year. Highlighting this phenomenon was a report in the Jerusalem Post which says that a book that's called Hebrews to Negroes, Wake Up Black America, which was made into a documentary-style film, peddles a theory that black people in the United States are the true descendants of the 12 tribes of Israel, while the white Ashkenazi Jews from Europe are imposters. This has been selling briskly on sites like Amazon, Apple Books, Barnes & Noble in the United States for several weeks. The books and film have been given some publicity in recent weeks after they were praised by some popular African American athletes and celebrities and such like. So what does this mean? Israeli economy is a bright spot in an otherwise gloomy picture in the world because Israel produces so many things that are desperately needed by other countries. Natural gas, other hydrocarbons at the top of that list. But Israel also has key ingredients for soil fertilization, needed to grow food. Israel companies produce aerospace, defense technology that so many countries need right now, especially in Europe. People are scrambling just to get, water. We have water technology. Security threats have been developing in the Mediterranean as well. The relatively bright economic outlook of Israel is also being fueled by strengthening relations, these Abraham Accords, with countries in the Middle East that before we had no relations with. We see this pointing to a ultimate prize, a normalization with Saudi Arabia. These wealthy countries have already began to invest billions of dollars worth of products and services from Israel. And they're planning to invest tens of billions of dollars more, creating new jobs here in the Jewish state and otherwise improving the quality of life here. The quality of life here is on its way up, even in the Galilee, even in this very waterfront. We're putting in a new waterfront. That's what the government has informed us. At the same time, deteriorating quality of life happens in places where most non-Israeli Jews live. Will this lead to a massive wave of immigration, Aliyah, to Israel? There's an undeniable truth that the government here is not prepared to handle a wave like that alone. They need the help of private initiatives like the Aliyah Return Center, and we got to do our part in order to help with this prophetic and historic event. The big wave or the small waves, please consider supporting and getting involved with your prophetic Isaiah 49 verse 22 role with us. God bless you. Remember us in your prayers.
Thank you so much for joining us. We look forward to keeping you posted as to the latest developments that relate to Aliyah and return and restoration. God bless you from the land of Israel.